Alright, hello everybody, Skyrain here, back again with another Diablo Immortal video. Alright, this is going to be a comprehensive update to the Fallout and everything else in between since the Gem Surge update and all the debacle of that and so on and so forth. It's pretty funny because the community manager came out of the woodwork finally. And of course they have to in these certain circumstances because they are the scapegoat. And same as the last one was, the same scenario played itself out again. They really, effed up. And lo and behold, they got to come out and say their words and say, oh, we're checking into this and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, they did because they had no choice. Now, supposedly, after it was all said and done, the dust is settled, that kind of thing, supposedly people were, I don't want to say compensated, but everything that was used prior, as far as the crests that were not counting, that kind of thing, so on and so forth, the ratio was adjusted supposedly to where it was supposed to be initially was set at, and I don't know. So take that for what you will. Those of you that did participate in, give your thoughts, of course, and how it actually worked out now after the adjustments. Okay. I'm mostly going to do this part as well here at the very start, and we're going to move on to some other things. But I wanted to do this for posterity reasons. Posterity reasons alone, to have this on video for, visual proof, okay? So you can take the previous video, if you need it for whatever reason, for whatever legal reason, I'm just saying, if you need that for whatever reason, you got that to look at, pull that up, it'll show the event as it was before they did the changes to it in the event overview for the Gem Surge. Okay, it'll show this in its original text format, which was all screwed up and missing the bullet points over here. It had numbers instead. It was all jumbled. Did they ever fix that one? No, it's still here. It's still here. The horrible translation. Actually, whoever typed this out just did a really bad job of not proofreading. After obtaining polished jade, you can use... Oh, no, they did fix it. You can use them to... They did fix it. Okay, finally. Yeah, this line was at the top of the list. After the first initial adjustment. They adjusted this event overview section again, and they fixed their grammatical error. Oh boy. Anyway, so let's keep moving along here. But like I said, I'm going to do this for posterity reasons. So here we go. Before this expires, I wanted to capture this on video for all of us as a whole, as a community, to have this to use for whatever reason. Okay. So let's start with the bottom one, 22 and 23. Yeah, let's go to this one first, and then you can see the difference between the two. This was when the whole thing was falling out. They sent out multiple messages. Supposedly, the catch-up to the crests that were spent from the 8th of January on were supposed to be counted, and they were not. But then they said they were going to fix that, and it was like a rolling process. Okay, and I'll get to explain why that probably was a rolling process. I haven't checked mine officially yet recently because I don't think I used any during that time on this character, unfortunately, so I don't really have anything. I did go back and check one of my alts, my Demon Hunter in particular, because I was trying to do that for the Diablo boss fight video, and unfortunately, whether that's play of the trick of the dates or whatever, but unfortunately, as luck would have it, it says the 7th on my Demon Hunter, not the 8th, when I used my orange crests on my Demon Hunter. So be that as it may, whatever the case is, unfortunately I couldn't show actual proof myself personally, but nonetheless. Okay, as you can see here, like I said, for posterity's sake, we're covering these things. All right. Recently had an issue with the Gem Surge event where players were not receiving the correct number of points for the Litra spent in the Hunter's Moon Phantom Gallery, blah, blah, blah. Confusion on the Litra to point ratio. Players should have been able to earn 1 point for every 10. This issue was resolved, it says. Okay, this is all posterity's sake reasons, guys. So take it for what it is. It's going to be in video format here as long as it exists on the internet. And then, like I said, the previous video shows the event overview prior to the change, and I will bring that event overview up one more time after this, and then you can compare the old one and the new one if you so choose. Do little screen captures, whatever you need to do for whatever reasons. I'm just saying. I think they pretty much covered their asses though, as far as a lot of things go here, and supposedly I guess it's better, but still nonetheless I'm just doing this for the sake of it. Okay, like I said, this is gonna expire because this email was very short-lived and they didn't want us to have it for very long, so they forget the power of the internet. We have everything on here as long as it remains to be. So yeah, issue is resolved. It says should be receiving the correct amount of points moving forward. Due to the confusion in the ratio, those who participated in it when that all went down, and they even give a specific standard time there, will be compensated for the point difference in a ratio of 5 to 1. So for those that already spent and got kind of screwed on the first day, they adjusted it to the 5 to 1 ratio instead of a 10 to 1 to make up for their screw up. Okay, and then additionally we encountered an issue where players did not receive for the legendary crest. They said retroactively from the 8th of January. So before the end of this event, we will be granting all players that missed out any points due to these issues. So this is like I said again, a rolling return on this event in the correction. Now this is a day later. We have fixed the Litra point conversion ratio. They stated this again because they had to roll out another email not long after the previous one. Players should receive the correct amounts. Blah, blah, blah. This pretty much says about the same thing as the first one here. Yeah, this one here too. And then it changes a little bit at the bottom though. The points accumulated will be distributed in future via in-game message. So they added this. This mail came after the other one, not too long after. These were pretty close to each other. And then they added this one because they both expire in the same amount of time. But one's dated a day later. I mean, like hours later. They were hours apart from when they got sent. And I have not gotten another mail in game. Let me know if you did in the comments, because I'm just curious, for one. If they did follow through with that and it has gotten around to you. It may not still be yet. It might still be on the way. Like they said, before the end of this event, supposedly they're going to roll out all those points. They have to go through a lot of backlog, a lot of data searching, and that kind of thing, so on and so forth. All right, so which brings me to this little number here. All right, this is kind of a follow-up. Well, actually, not a follow-up. This was when everything was on fire, everything was going down during the, when everything was a mess for the gem search initially. And I'm putting their forgive me for putting your name on here, but I just wanted to give credit where credit is due. This was found in one of the Immortal discords that I am in. They mentioned that this is a player, of course, in the community, and this was supposedly the solution that got used for the fix. And I'm not 100% on that. Don't shoot the messenger on this. I just wanted to put this out as a possibility, and you can read it for yourselves here. And if indeed this was the case, hats off to you. And also, it's funny how people in the gaming community seem to honestly know better than the devs at this point when it comes to Blizzard and NetEase and how they handle things. I'm just saying. So anyway, you can pause it at this moment. I'm not going to read through the whole thing. I just wanted to put this up there as a little side note and tip of the hat in case they actually did do this and this is what they went with and everything was successfully done. So trying to give credit as far as that goes, if in fact that is the case. Like I said, I don't know 100% on this, but this was on the Blizzard forums too as well. This is where this post has been taken from, so you can look it up there if you want, and you'll come across it eventually. But nonetheless, pause it, read it. It's very interesting, and again, it's something else that, it was a player fix, not a developer fix at the end of the day here. That seems to be what rectify that whole situation, which is sad. Honestly, it's very sad. It's good that, but it's sad at the same time that they couldn't put 2 and 2 together themselves. Before all this happened, before this should have ever taken place. It should have never been. That's what I'm getting at. Anyway, moving on now to some other things. We're going to talk about, I'm just kind of, like I said, this is a comprehensive update. I'm just going to cover some of the events and what's going on currently in the game. As far as a free-to-play standpoint goes, let me go ahead and cover that really quick now too. If you didn't see the previous video about the gem surge, my plan as a free-to-play, and as for most, I'm going to go ahead and bring up a Reddit post here as well. That's the main page. If you're looking to figure out what needs to be done here, obviously this is another YouTuber that posted this on Reddit. You can look them up if you so choose as well. But they broke this one down here, pretty straightforward and simple. Free-to-play players here, our job here is we're only going to be able to get a 2 out of 5 to a 3 out of 5 with the amount of points needed. The legendary crests required after we get all our free chests for 100 per week. Now, some are saying in between 300, and then some are saying 400 because it goes an extra day. We'll have to wait and see on Monday. I still remain true to this point. We'll have to wait until we see on Monday at reset for the week to see if we get the login bonus in game for that event one more time here. The weekly check-in. Check back next week. So this started, like, we know on a Wednesday, but they might do the weekly chest check-in on the start of reset, which I kind of hope they do, because then that means we will for sure get 400 points out of these login chests before the event ends. If not, we still have an extra day because 13th falls on a Thursday. So we should be able to get one more chest and still get the 400, but as a guaranteed for certain thing, I would prefer, again, like I said, for it to be on Monday. Okay, so as a free-to-play, of course, yeah, right there, like I said, and as it says here, straight up, we can only get the 2 out of 3 2 out of 5 to a 3 out of 5 star ranking. Okay, and they're also gonna look pretty funky. Okay, so bear that in mind. If you haven't done it already, this is what it's gonna look like. Not the 5 out of 5 star, but you can see the star upgrade will be kind of dimmed. It's not gonna look like the full solid star color of the other ones. I don't know why they chose to go this route. It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. But then again, the same thing could be said about this whole entire how they went about it from the get-go. But nonetheless, that's what it's going to look like. Fair warning. I just wanted to put this in there as well. Again, covering all the bases here. Lots of things to kind of... this is update cleanup as far as everything else goes. This other topic here, why is nobody talking about the refined, the polished, and the tempered cosmetics for the Phantom Market being absolutely ridiculously stupid, and then they added that for the amount of cost is utterly insane here. Yeah, the pricing of that was just absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, and then I just wanted to put this one in here really quickly as well. Like I said, we're covering a couple bases here. The bait and switch tactics. Somebody went and said it in so many words, and they used some expletives, of course, rightfully so, at the time of being completely upset. And of course, it's been removed by the moderators of the Diablo Immortal Reddit subreddit, so it's whatever. Yeah, and then they say because low quality content and whatever else. It was, I mean, they were kind of fishing for comments on it, but they were also like very upset about it, and rightfully so. There's been far many other ones, but they were a bit more tastefully done. So that's probably why it remained, but I just wanted to put that in there. This is kind of a little funny, haha. Oh yes, this was the next thing I was getting to. The Fractured Plane. The Fractured Plane event. Which event does the Fractured Plane contribute its tokens? When this one went initially, I didn't do it until recently. I waited on purpose because I was like, there's got to be something somewhere about this. Let's talk about the Fractured Plane event now. Because the event center has updated. And we do have another set now since they added Alley of Blood in. The Fractured Plane event was supposed to go alongside the Chinese New Year event, so it didn't apparently make the cut into here. However, yes, technically it did. And it did because, as you can see here, I did not do the Alley of Blood at all on purpose yet because I wanted to test this out. As you can see in the top corner, Seals of Triumph, I got 22. Where did that come from? Well, that came from the Fractured Plane itself. This one started earlier before that event center started at the 24th. And this one started on the 22nd with the Chinese New Year event, so for whatever reason it slipped off. But I only did one full run. I claimed my stuff in that one full run. And I got 12, I got 17, what did I get? No, I got the 22 points. I got the 22 points because, let me see here. We got 17 points in this one for completing level 12, which is crazy. I don't remember it being that way before, but maybe it was. But either way, 17, 4, 5, okay? And then, yeah. So there I got my 22 points just from these alone. So therefore, you're not missing out, and it did carry over to the next event center in the list here. This was the old one. I didn't get any more points there, which I'm glad. Shady Stock is about ready to wrap up. And I seen they finally posted the new one to go along with Alley of Blood being introduced today. And I did the Fractured Plane and not any of the Alley of Blood. And I got 22 tokens. So do the Fractured Plane, get some extra tokens in to this list without even having to do the one in this list. I'm pretty sure it probably the Fractured Plane should be included in here. So they kind of screwed up. I hope they actually do fix this as well, but I'm not holding my breath. And speaking of, again, another comprehensive update here. What things about needs fixing? Well, there's a bug list. This has not changed. This bug list that I had posted, I posted this a while back to one of the Diablo Immortal creator discords that I got invited to. But yeah, and I haven't, and that's been pretty much dead silent for a while. Like radio silence has been in there for quite some time. So I'm just like, okay, all right. But I posted this anyway in there, regardless of the fact. The only thing that I can do as a non-partner program person is, and I posted these things here. Let's go ahead and go over the list. These are the things that I have found in game not to be working, and they still remain that to be the case. The Benefactor Legendary skill, I say here, not always working. At the time, it was kind of hit or miss, especially in Battlegrounds, but now it doesn't work at all in Battlegrounds. I've swapped it out entirely. I gave up on it because I was like, I guarantee you they're not going to fix it anytime soon, so I'm not expecting that to happen. So I just swapped it out for like Lightning Rod or something else. I was like, whatever, fine. That's great that that doesn't work anymore because that gave you an extra shield. And we all know how we like the shield stack in Battlegrounds right now. And I said here, sometimes a refresh fixes the game fixes it, sometimes not. And then I updated it, edit completely broken and not working at all in Battlegrounds. Yeah. So there's that. Before it was like 1 to 2 matches, and then I'd restart the game and go back in again. It would work for about 1 to 2 matches, rinse, repeat. But now it doesn't work at all, at least the last I checked. Let me know in the comments if it works for you or not, if you have this issue, if you've noticed these things in this list, of course. If you have anything else, feel free to just, chime in, and we'll have conversations, of course, about it. Because I'm sure there's more. I'm sure other classes have experienced other things as well. And it's, unfortunately, I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. Now, I do have a couple update ones to this for Wizard. I've been noticing that teleport does not always work. You'll use a charge and you won't move. We've had this happen before. That's been bugged before. And same thing, whenever they introduce a patch, they cycle in and out of previous bugs. So unfortunately, that seems to be the case again. That one really, really sucks for obvious reasons. But it's just something you have to take in stride and deal with and kind of best work around it. But obviously, you're just going to be standing still and it really sucks. So there's that one. So that is what I have noticed for Wizard class in particular. But anyway, as far as the Dusk Prowler, the cat familiar pet, the bubble shield that it casts in Battlegrounds for certain, I noticed that does not work at all. And you'll see the cat go into cooldown. You won't get a shield. And if you do get a shield, it might be invisible. I don't know. It just seems to be all around bugged when it comes to shielding right now. Not all shields, obviously, so because you'll still see some of the classes still have lots of shields and they continue to stack them. The usual ones, anyway. But a lot of this has to do with, shielding, and for whatever reason, they're just bugging out so bad to where they just are completely broken and do not work at all. Let's see. Permanent Invisible Tempest Bug. That's very hit or miss when it happens. I've seen it happen a couple times since then, and this is like weeks back I posted this one. Yeah, that one doesn't always occur. Now, granted, there are some. I know Demon Hunter has the helmet that gives them invisibility for X amount of time, so that's whatever. You can still see them on the mini map. Same thing applies to certain Tempests, and then you also have Monk. Monk has a whole setup I've seen being run too. Not the spin to win, baton twirlers, whatever. But there's another Monk build out there where they teleport and jump around, and they basically cling themselves to you. So if you would try to dash, they would be attached to you, and they'd still be on top of you, and they'd be invisible the whole time. Well, not quite the whole time, but pretty damn well close to it. There's that one, but I think that one actually is part of the game mechanics, which is crazy stupid. But yeah, the Tempest one's kind of the one I wanted to touch on because that happened in the past before, and it seems to kind of occur at random, and they will be completely invisible, like permanently, throughout the rest of the match for some people. I don't know if that's a PC bug or what have you. I just wanted to put this up there as a possibility thing, and let me know the score if you've experienced this yourselves as well. Of course, again, I'm just putting these things out there. Best thing you can do in that case to track them is use your mini maps. Your mini maps are your friend more than you realize in Battlegrounds, and they will give away invisible player dots a lot of the times. Not all the time, but most of the time they actually do. So for anybody wondering, like, how did they see me? I was invisible. It's like, well, the mini map gave you away. So again, it doesn't always work. There are times where I'm like, okay, the red dot didn't show up at all, but it's very, very rare. Most times you can find them that way. Let's see. No healing occasionally in safe zones, and it occurs at random. This still remains true. Even with the patch update, I still had this happen. I'd be sitting there getting out of Battlegrounds or whatever else, and I'd swap in my armory. I'd swap to a different set of gear even sometimes, and it would show. And I have some parts of my gear that give me health regen, and that's the only way I was getting my health back. You can't use a potion. I think or maybe you could, but it wouldn't do anything. So it's like, oh, that's cool. So that didn't work either. And then you go to another safe zone while that happens, and sometimes the other safe zones would work and refill your potions. But it's just absolutely crazy to be in West March and for you to have to rely on health regen instead of being healed up immediately, which is pretty crazy. It's pretty terrible. It's pretty bad. It's pretty busted. That one I think is still ongoing. Again, this one is very hard to pin down because it seems to occur randomly. All right. Then the Diablo story battle, I showed that in the video that I did before, so I'm not going to get into that one any further. But yeah, there we go with that. And and then the funny thing you've probably seen in Battlegrounds, text label. Text label. Now, bug or otherwise, there's an argument to this one. Some are saying, oh, it's because they left the Battlegrounds when you went to check the end cards or whatever else. And it's like, well, if they did, they had to leave really, really, really fast. Because some of them I try to check immediately, and then some work right away, and other ones you get the text label. So, and then the Chinese patch notes, I remember forever ago, said, oh, we're going to have a way to put that on private if you want, so that way nobody else can see your stuff. And I was like, well, that's kind of dirty, but whatever. And, if just to see if out of plain and simple curiosity, like, who hit me like a truck? And it's like, oh, okay, and then you get this. So I don't see that in our settings anywhere in game. So I haven't been able to put that together. So I was like, well, I don't know exactly how much of that is true. As far as the global aspect of it goes, maybe that was generically put in some way, somehow for them, because I have no way of finding it in the settings anywhere that I know of currently. So anyway, there you go. Rambled on long enough on this, of course, but I wanted to touch base on as many things as possible in this one. As like I said, this is a comprehensive update from the falling out of the past couple of days with all the events, all the pay-to-win disgusting nonsense that went all over the place and went into areas that it probably never should have. One last note here, the little red dot here, I have no idea either. I saw somebody post this as well, I think in the Diablo Immortal Discord, about why do I have a red dot down here in the gifts if I already claimed the red bag for the day and I've already claimed all this stuff here. Same thing happened with me as well. I don't know. I don't know where that red dot is, and as far as red dots go, I've gotten used to finally coming around to ignoring them for the most part and being like, yeah, they're just absolutely dumb. It's almost like a check engine light in a car sometimes, but then those ones actually you do need to pay attention to a bit more, but most times they're a bunch of BS. But yeah, I can't figure out where this dot goes to or why it's even there. So yeah, and I'm also putting this in at the end of the video for those of you that made it this far to see if I get any responses to this. Let me see. I'd say if you actually did watch the video and you do appreciate it and made it all the way to the end, thank you very much. You are the real ones out there, of course, and I appreciate you as always. I'd almost say type red dot in the comments. And then people might want, well, yeah, screw it. Just type red dot in the comments if you made it this far, just to let me know you made it to the end, and I appreciate you as always. Thank you very much. Anyway, until next time, everybody, stay safe out there, and the real world on fire continues every day, and especially in this country, in the U.S., things are, oh boy, I have some thoughts and I have some things, and I might save that for another time, but I do have a lot of pent-up things I do want to actually address as far as that stuff goes. But I mean, it's obviously not going to be a Diablo Immortal video. It's not going to be a Diablo Immortal video, but I don't know exactly when or if, because, you know, some touchy subjects for a lot of people, but sometimes you just kind of have to get your thoughts and feelings out there and be like, whatever happens. But anyway, until next time, everybody, stay safe out there again in the real world fire, as I said already. As always, take care of yourselves as best you can, one day at a time. That's all we can do. It's the best we can do. Oh, and one more thing. I almost forgot. I have to do this, and if I don't do this now, I'm going to forget, and it's going to screw me over. As far as the Immortals go, I have saved this one. This was an update. This was the update in the patch notes for the turning in of your contribute points. I got 88. This is supposed to be a one and done click now, so let's go. Click to submit all. Boom, done. Thank you. There it is. Okay, there. I almost forgot again, and I was waiting to do that until I did the video update on everything, and I almost forgot. Oh my god. Anyway, so there you go. There's that. And the other thing was we got the increased stash space. That was the other only upside to this entire debacle for all of us, I do believe, honestly, especially as like free-to-plays and so on and so forth. Granted, it costs platinum, but hey, 2 more tabs of stash space we've gotten. They still owe us the 2-step safety verification thing, whatever else, but obviously I don't think they're going to be able to figure that out. They keep delaying it, but we still at least got our other 2 stash tabs here, so I'm happy about that. Anyway, okay, I'm out of here. Stay safe, everybody. Take care of yourselves. Thank you again. Until next time, see ya.